morning students, I welcome you all for the online class of business studies. Today we will be continuing with the topic that is the capital structure. We completed last class. Financial leverage also we completed, and we were learning the difference between return on investment and rate of interest. So we have forwarded with that particular topic. Let us continue what effect will be there. One question I said situation 1, 50 lakh, 10%, 30%, and here in this question we calculated return on investment and we have seen the impact. As you can see in this question, interest rate is 10% per annum, okay, and return on investment after calculating it is 6%. Last class I explained you how the formula of return on investment, that is the EBIT what we get divided by total investment into 100. If we will be doing, we will be getting the particular that is the return on investment. If the return on investment is less than the rate of interest, then what is there? The company will be in a loss situation because they have to pay more as a rate of interest and the earning in that project is less. Now that is the situation when the company has totally acquired the capital in the form of equity, not the debt. Now the next situation is where their total capital 50 lakh only, but here 10 lakh debt had been taken and 40 lakh as the equity. In this situation student, interest is 10%. Let us calculate the EBIT. EBIT is again coming 6%. In this project also what we are observing, rate of interest is more as compared to in return on investment. So this project also return of rate of it is a loss for the business. Let us see the three situation one again. What the way we will be calculating. In this three situation, EBIT is how much? 3 lakh is a constant EBIT, earning before interest and tax. Okay, and that 3 lakh is the EBIT. Interest we deducted 10%, 3 lakh. First situation no debt was there, so 0 is the interest. Second situation we have taken 10 lakh as the debt, so 10 lakh 10% when we take it is 1 lakh. So here the deduction will be 3 lakh minus 1 lakh, so it will become 2 lakh. Here it is 3 lakh. So EBT I said interest will be cancelled, then EBT left. Okay, 3 lakh minus 2 lakh. How 2 lakh? In the third situation we have taken 20 lakh as debt. So 20 lakh 10% if we will take, it is 2 lakh. So 2 lakh over that we will be taking the debt, it will be 1 lakh. Now the next situation is earning before tax. Here it came. Now in this we will deduct the tax. Tax is 30%. How much is the earning left out? On that tax will be charged. Here in this situation 3 lakh left out. So 3 lakh into 30%, 90,000. If we deduct, it will get 2 lakh 10,000, and that is earning after tax. Okay, EAT, earning after tax. On the second situation, the earning become less, 2 lakh. 2 lakh into 30% tax we have to pay, it is 60,000. You can see less tax we are paying. Here in this situation more tax, more earning, more tax. Less earning, less tax. So 30% we will take of 2 lakh, it will be 60,000. How much earning after tax? 1 lakh 40,000. 1 lakh in the 30% if we will deduct tax, it is 30,000. 30,000 minus 1 lakh, it will be 70,000. This all we calculated, it is the earning after tax. What it is? Earning after tax. From this earning after tax, the formula for earning per share is earning after tax divided by number of equity shares. You have seen in the question where from where I get 4 lakh, 5 lakh I will be showing. Last class I not shown to you, but I know where it is. As situation 2, 4 lakh shares of 10 is, it becomes 40 lakh. Situation third, it is 3 lakh shares into 10 each, that is the number of shares. So according to number of shares in first situation, it is 5 lakh. So EAT 2 lakh 10,000 divided by 5 lakh, if you will do, you will get 0.42 as earning per share. Same way we calculated earning per share for different situations. So this way earning per share has been calculated. Hence what we are seeing there, some of the situation return on investment is more as compared to rate of interest. So here the profit is more, and some of the situation it is loss. In the earlier situation with the same amount when we have seen that we have having loss because there the EBIT was more, but we will getting the loss at the time of total equity. But here we are seeing total equity situation is better than the debt and equity situation. Hence prove that in case return of investment is less than rate of interest, the equity shareholder get less earning when debt is included in the capital structure. In other words, we can say that during boom period we must have more of debt and less of equity share in capital structure, and during the depression period when income or return is less, we should have more of equity and less of debt in the capital structure. Now we will forward with the factors determining the capital structure. The various factors which influence the decision of capital structure are as follows. The very first factor is cash flow position. When we see cash flow position, student, here again I will be saying, if our company's cash flow position is good, cash inflow and outflow, then we can think of having a more of equity, okay, as compared to debt. The decision related to composition of capital structure also depends upon the ability of business to generate enough cash flow. A company is under legal obligation to pay a fixed rate of interest to debenture holders, dividend to preference shares, and principal and interest amount for loan. Sometimes company makes sufficient profit, but it is not able to generate cash inflow for making payments. Okay, the expected cash flow must match with the obligation of making payments. Inflow must be that must be sufficient for paying all the types of payment which the business have to pay. Because if company fails to pay, makes fixed payment, it may face insolvency. Mandatory by the court to have to payment of rate of interest and other obligation which have been taken by the company. Before including the debt in capital structure, company must analyze properly the liquidity of its working capital. A company employs more of debt securities in its capital structure if company is sure of generating enough cash inflow, whereas if there is shortage of cash, then it must employ more of equity in its capital structure, as there is no liability of company to pay its equity shareholder. So this dark line itself is enough to learn there. Once again I want to repeat, a company employs more of debt security in its capital structure if company is sure of generating enough cash flow. But if the company is in doubt or not able to generate enough cash flow, then in that situation it is better to increase the capital in the form of equity, not in the form of debt. Interest coverage ratio, ICR. It refers to number of times companies earning before interest and taxes EBIT cover the interest payment obligation. That's why the formula of ICR is ICR equals to EBIT divided by interest. So interest coverage ratio equals to, it refers to number of times companies earning before interest and taxes. So before interest and tax, what number of times the company is able to increase the income, it is coming in interest coverage ratio. It doesn't cover the interest payment obligation. So if high ICR means companies can have more of borrowed fund, securities, there is having a choice. If they want to borrow, they can borrow. Whereas lower ICR means less borrowed fund securities. They cannot borrow more, they can have to increase the capital in the form of equity. Debt service coverage ratio, DSCR, when we see, it is one step ahead ICR. That is, ICR covers the obligation to pay back interest on debt, but DSCR takes care of return of interest as well as principal repayment. DSCR means profit after tax plus depreciation plus interest plus non-cash expenses written off divided by preference dividend plus interest plus repayment obligation. Then we will be able to get debt service coverage ratio. So it is more than ICR because it includes the interest payment obligation also. If DSCR is high, then company can have more debt in capital structure. Has high DSCR indicates ability of company to repay its debt. But if DSCR is less, then company must avoid debt and depend upon equity capital only. Next comes return on investment, ROI. Return on investment is another crucial factor while deciding the capital structure. If the return on investment is more than rate of interest, then company must prefer debt in its capital structure because they will be getting more return on investment. Whereas if the return on investment is less as compared to rate of interest, then that situation company must prefer on equity capital. This point is explained earlier also in financial gearing by giving examples. Now the next topic is cost of debt. When we learn about cost of debt, if firm can arrange borrowed fund at low rate of interest, then they can prefer more of debt. But if they are not able to get at easy cost the debt, then they can prefer equity as compared to debt. Tax rate. If they are having high tax rate, income from income the tax is deducted, but it is not whatever dividend the company is paying, that is not deducted from the income tax. So it is better if the high tax rate makes cheaper, it make debt cheaper, has interest paid to debt security will be deducted from the income tax. So before calculating tax, if the rate of interest we are paying for any type of loan or borrowed fund, then it will be deducted from our income, then remaining amount of income over the tax will be charged. But whereas income tax, dividend, when we say, it is not deducted from the income. So if tax rate is high, then it will be good to prefer, so high end tax rate means prefer debt. If the high tax rate is there, then we must prefer debt for forming the capital structure. But if we are having a low tax rate, then we can prefer to have equity in capital structure formation. These things are decided for making the debt equity ratio for the formation of capital structure. Next, the topic which we will be going to learn is cost of equity. If the cost of, see here, when we are making the equity shares to be offered to the general public, it requires various investment. Like for example, it requires a prospectus, article of association, memorandum of association to be formed, and it costs it includes very high charges because it requires experts and managerial specialists for doing the activities. So here, instead of that time, if the company is getting higher rate of equity issuing, then they can prefer debt. But if low rate of interest equity is there, then they can prefer the equity. Another factor which helps in deciding capital structure is cost of equity. Owners or equity shareholders expect a return on their investment, earning per share. As far as debt is increasing, earning per share then can include it in capital structure. But when earning per share start decreasing with inclusive of debt, then we must depend upon equity share capital only. Okay. Next is flotation cost. Flotation cost is a cost involved in the issue of shares or debentures. This cost includes the cost of advertisement, underwriters, statutory fees, etc. It is a major consideration for small companies, but even large companies cannot ignore this factor cost. What is flotation cost? At the time of issuing of shares, some extra cost is charged. That cost is beared and known as flotation cost. If the flotation cost is high, then it will be better for company to increase the capital in the form of debt. It is a major consideration for small companies, but even large companies cannot ignore this factor because along with cost, there are many other legal formalities to be completed before entering into capital market. Like for example, issue of shares, debentures requires more formalities as well as more flotation cost as compared to debt. If companies are not able to bear this flotation cost, it is better for the company to charge to increase their capital structure in the form of debt. And if they can bear it, if the cost is sufficient, then they can increase their capital structure in the form of equity. Next topic is risk consideration. Financial risk refers to a position when a company is unable to meet its fixed financial positions, charges such as interest, preference dividend, payment to creditors, etc. Apart from financial risk, business has some operating risk also, which depends upon operating cost. Higher operating cost means higher business risk. That situation we cannot prefer more debt. That situation we can have more of equity. The total risk depends upon both financial as well as business risk. If one business risk is low, then it can raise more capital by issue of debt security, whereas if the time of high business risk, it should depend upon equity. Next point is flexibility. Excess of debt may restrict the firm's capacity to borrow further. To maintain flexibility, it must maintain some borrowings power to take care of unforeseen circumstances. So this is another choice. Then we can prefer the debt and the equity. Next is control. If the equity shareholders are ready to share their control over the business with other partners, then they can issue more of equity. But if they are not ready to do so, the sharing of control with other new members, then they can prefer debt. And in that situation, they must be enough capable to manage the business alone instead of other owners of the business. So that is the control point. So these were the points. The next topic I will be continuing in the next class. For today's class, this much only. Thank you and have a nice day.